Merry meet and welcome. Welcome to the realms of mysticism, the occult, and magic, where your possibilities are only limited by your imagination. Welcome to the Witch's Cauldron and discover the knowledge you seek. Gather round the cauldron and even stay for a spell. Brightest blessings to you. Merry meet and welcome to the Witch's Cauldron. My name's Paula. Today I want to talk about the new moon and solar eclipse that we will be having on the 25th of October. Now, if you remember, when a solar eclipse occurs, it is at the new moon. Lunar eclipses occur at the full moon, so just keep that in mind, okay? To talk about the energies of what is involved, we can experience the influences of an eclipse up to 1 month prior and 6 months after the actual eclipse occurs. Now, the eclipse on the 25th is the second partial eclipse, solar eclipse of 2022. It will be visible from most of Europe, Northern Africa, the Middle East, and parts of Western Asia. We will, like here where I am on the East Coast of the United States, you will not see this particular eclipse. Now, our next eclipse, this kicks off our fall/winter eclipse season. So the next one will be on November the 8th, and it will be a total lunar eclipse. Okay? So I just wanted to go over those few little things with you, but to understand the energies of what is going to be going on or is currently going on. I am recording this on the 23rd. Nothing like me waiting to the last minute, per usual, guys. It's that Leo procrastinator in me. Sorry. Let's back up just a tad to go over some of the energies that have been in play and will be in play through the end of the month. Mercury is in opposition by Jupiter at 1 degree of Aries on the world axis. Now, the world axis is 0 degrees of the cardinal signs. If you remember, the cardinal signs are those that are at the beginning of a season. So this is a great time to take on creative writing projects. It's also a great time to develop big ideas for your future and horizons for yourself, but not only for yourself. Put energy out there about change in the world that you would like to see come about. In this alignment, Jupiter is very likely to, blow up any kind of information that is occurring on the world stage and will likely be significant or very important to our future. Not only future selves, but future of humanity. Another aspect that we should talk about is the sun at 16 degrees, quincunx Uranus at 18 degrees Taurus. And it's conjunct the North Node. This is shining a light on new financial systems. There is also the square of Saturn in Aquarius and Uranus. And this is this energy helps bring about long-term practical and realistic systems for the future. It can be financial, it can be linked to social structure, it can be agriculture, food production, all those kind of things to do with Taurus. So that's, home, your finances, ability to provide food, sustenance, that kind of stuff. So you may want to see where 16 degrees, 32 minutes of Aries falls in your chart, because there is very likely to be a culmination of something, or closure or completion of something in your life in the house where 16 degrees, 32 minutes Aries falls in your natal chart. This eclipse can shine the light on things that you were not aware of that could completely change your direction going forward. All right. These eclipses in October and November are going to be very intense, because they are further reinforced by that square of Saturn and Uranus, and that is waning and winding down, getting ready to shift energies. So remember that. Remember, Saturn and Uranus. Uranus is a planet of chaos. Saturn is about control and structure. Do the math. Lots of upheaval. Okay. On the 19th, we had an extremely powerful day with a square between the Sun and Pluto. This highlights power again, but the Sun was in Libra. It could have manifested like in a relationship with regard to control, possessiveness, codependent behaviors, things of that. Remember, this will go on. It will pass. So it may be during this period of time, it's better to, choose your words carefully, and probably better for you on a holistic level to not engage with nonsense. I've just been done and dusted and walking away from a lot of people and a lot of things that no longer serve me. And even though some of them have been extremely hard to walk away from, you need to do self-care and take care of yourself and not fall into those traps, either through your relationships, and that can be any kind of relationship. It can be family, it can be friends, it can be a love interest. Okay, so just remember that. On the 24th, we had a square between the Moon and Pluto at 26 degrees of Libra and Capricorn, and this will really feed into the energy on the 25th. The eclipse brings permanent changes in life. Now, the path of this eclipse will go principally over Russia, Kazakhstan, and will also be visible from Iran and Pakistan. And often the geographics involved in the eclipse path, and there will be higher focus and more illumination on things going on in these geographic areas, especially considering the last month and then going in the next 6 months. Russia just announced martial law. They are conscripting men into the fighting, things of that nature. So, I think that will continue to play for the next 6 months, and there's going to be a lot of turmoil and upheaval over and above a war, but that eclipse will probably bring about things that were done in the dark and bring them to light. Okay. The eclipse itself occurs on October 25th at 2 degrees, 20 degrees. Come on, Paula. 2 degrees of Scorpio. It will be exact at 3:48 a.m. Pacific Daylight Saving Time in the U.S., which would be 6:48 a.m. on the East Coast and 11:48 a.m. in the UK. Now, remember that Scorpio is a sign of emotional intensity. And if you think about it, Scorpios have that unique ability, and I can say this because I'm a Scorpio rising, have that unique ability to sting you with their words and their actions. And you may see people who have Scorpio figure prominently in their charts being more emotional or making very cutthroat decisions with regards to relationships, like me. Scorpios and those with Scorpio in their charts also usually have the unique ability to tell you to go to hell, and you not really realizing it, but you're looking forward to the trip. And I have that ability. So I know from where I am talking. Scorpio is also one of the more sensual and sexual signs. And I'm going to say it is the most, in my opinion, sexual sign in the zodiac. This eclipse, since it's a partial solar eclipse, has the energy of the new moon. And before I forget it, those of you who are magical practitioners, on the 24th, the moon is, on the 24th. So if you want to do a dark moon ritual, the moon goes void of course at 8:35 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time in the U.S. It will be transitioning from Libra into Scorpio. Now, the void, of course, if you are in the United States on the East Coast, the void, of course, on the 25th goes from midnight until 3:18 a.m. on the 25th. And that's when it transitions into Scorpio. So if you want to do a dark moon ritual, I would suggest you make time adjustments the night before. In my trad, dark moon is the night before the new moon, and the new moon is the night of and the night after. Those are the energy flow. Some people don't recognize the dark moon. Some Wiccan trads do not recognize the night before the new moon as the dark moon. And my trad does. So it all depends on your path as to what you want to do. One of the energies linked with this eclipse is really going to be focused on financial systems, with the North Node in Taurus, which is linked to banking, wealth, currencies, and money just in general. And Uranus is conjuncted with Uranus, the planet of chaos, right? Bringing about drama. The South Node in Scorpio usually relates to big money that has been hidden, underhanded investments. It's also giving you a focus on your legitimate investments, your pension, loans, and mortgages. It's, remember, Scorpio, venom, toxin. So Scorpio is linked to toxicity in all forms. And it can be financial, it can be chemical, it can even be toxic thoughts and habits that you need to let go and purge from your life. Scorpio is also associated on the more shadow side with intense emotions and deep feelings of betrayal. Sometimes even where the betrayal is only perceived and not necessarily the intent behind a certain act. In other words, someone may have said or done something to you that you automatically, you betrayed me, blah, blah, blah. There could be things that you are not aware of going on in the background that caused that interaction to happen. So just, it may play out personally or on a wider stage. Now, I say this as there is a big push to get away from the US dollar and go back to the gold standard. And if that happens, it's going to be a shit show financially in the US. If you can, start putting some cash away. Not that it will be worth as much if getting away from the US dollar as standard. You may want to be one of those investing in gold, silver, platinum, some of the metals, things of that nature. Scorpio is also related to deeply hidden secrets of the rich and powerful and secrets of yourself. Okay, you may have secrets of your own that are brought to light, or you may be the one uncovering the secrets. Okay, and they're usually pretty, I call them like tower moment from the tarot. They're pretty tower moment kind of secrets. All right, I'm not talking just a little, I'm talking major stuff. So I am encouraging you to kind of dig deep on this one. Venus at 2 degrees 39 is conjunct the solar eclipse, and this alignment coming back to the currency puts an emphasis on currency and wealth. Jupiter is even closer to the world axis at 0 degrees 15 minutes of Aries, which is promising for visions of a new world. Okay. Pluto at 26 degrees Capricorn is an out of sign square to the sun and moon, which indicates fundamental, deep, permanent changes are going to be made to financial systems. And I'm not just talking about the US. I am talking on the world stage. Eris, Pluto are still in square, as are Saturn and Uranus. Through the second half of October, Mercury is moving out of the T-square to Mars and Neptune, and is very tightly quincunx Neptune at 22 degrees Libra and 23 degrees Pisces. This energy is imaginative and creative, but does not help bring clarity to a situation on a mental level. Jupiter retrogrades back into 29 degrees Pisces on October 27th. And if you recall, the last degree of any sign kind of brings about the shadow side or the less positive aspects of that sign. This may indicate another acceleration of inflation again, as it did earlier in the year when the first conjunction of Neptune linked to oil prices and Jupiter inflates or blows that up and makes it even bigger. It can also be indicative of a lot of emotion that have been or will be shed over some world event, but it brings about a wave of compassion from across the world. And it stays in Pisces until the 21st of December. Moving across the Aries point right on the Capricorn solstice in December. This will be the last time Jupiter will be in Pisces for another 11 years. So it will not re-enter that sign until April 2033. Use this energy to positively imagine your future dreams and visions. And because our ability to manifest great things is even more magnified during this time. Mars moved into a quincunx with Pluto at 25 degrees Gemini and 26 degrees of Capricorn. And it's coming close to station and retrograde on the 30th of October. This is an aspect that lends itself for asserting one's might. In other words, assertions of power. It could mean additional attempts at censorship, because Gemini is one of the signs linked to social media. Mars has a 2-year orbit, and its station is very close to Mars in the U.S. natal chart at 21 degrees Gemini. Mars came conjunct to the U.S. natal Mars on 4th to 6th October, and it will come back again the 22nd through 24th of November, and finally the 6th and 7th of January. Now, I want to bring something up that I don't do a lot of, because people lose their total shit on me when I start bringing like politics and world relationships into my videos. But I should note that with this positioning of Mars in the U.S. chart and Pluto figuring in the mix here, Mars stations on the sun of Xi Jinping, the leader of China, at 23 degrees 45 Gemini. This alignment means that his natal sun is conjunct the U.S. Mars, natal Mars, which Mars is the fighter. This means that the relationship between U.S. and China can get even more unstable than it already is. And it may result in military flexing, so to speak. A lot of the U.S.'s military is used for what I will call deterrent. And, you know, we've got a very big carrier fleet roaming around out there. And this can really cause things to escalate, especially with the threats with Taiwan and everything like that. So, what's going to be also very powerful is that the Pluto return in the U.S. natal chart is a powerful transformation of the United States. And this is on all levels. That's constitutional, it's political, it's economic, and it possibly geographically what actually makes up the U.S. It all suggests that there will be significant events going on in the U.S. that will have ripple effect out to the rest of the world. Now, from October 23rd, Saturn will be moving stationary direct. So, there may be, that's this day, there may be even more with regard to censorship, attempted control, things of that nature. Now, on a brighter, more, less Princess of Darkness and Doom and more Glinda the Good Witch, here, Jupiter at 0 degrees Aries is the creator degree of the zodiac. And Jupiter will be conjunct dwarf planets Manwi and Salacia. This conjunction continues through to the Capricorn solstice, which is going to be very, very powerful this year. Okay. Salacia at 6 degrees Aries is linked to kind of mermaid energy. And she's linked to shimmering sunlight and moonlight dancing upon the seas. So she represents liquid light, photonic light, which we are creating all the time. Now, Manwi, with a 289-year orbit, is exactly on the 0 degree of Aries. Now, this brings birthing of new Earth around. That's the energy that's being put out. And Manwi operates beyond dimensions and beyond time. In myth, he and his wife created the cosmos. Manwi and dedicated to the triumph of light over dark and world renewal. This is very positive energy as we move toward bringing about change on a humanity level, on a world stage, rather than your personal being, though it does have that influence on you. I think that with this alignment, these all encourage you to bring about something new. You might want to consider doing a ritual of, some people call it shadows and light, some people call it yin and yang. Dark side on one side, the light side on the other of your altar. You may want to, on the dark side, get rid of bad habits, bad relationships, bad thinking, whatever. And on the light side of your altar, have representations to bring about that positive change, to bring about your ascension, to get us to get beyond the me to the we. Just as painful as it can be, you have to get rid of the old crap to make way for the new crap. Don't keep things or people in your life that are on life support. If you need to let them go, let them go. And with that, getting rid of that negative influence, replace it. That's why I'm suggesting the shadow and light, the yin, the yang. Bring about that positive stuff. Think about your long-term goals. Think about, these energies. And these energies will also play in and be in play for Samhain. So these energies are particularly important as we move forward, not only individually, but as a collective. So I really encourage you to bring about positive change. Get rid of the bad, bring around something more positive. Don't leave a vacuum. If you get rid of something bad, don't leave that vacuum for something more bad to come through your door. Immediately replace that with something with a more positive, more life-affirming energy, rather than allowing the bad shit to come and just replace the bad shit you got rid of. So this is also a big time for introspection. I call it, kind of like the Four of Swords and the Hermit and the Tower all rolled up into one. So towers bring about, it rocks you to your core and to your foundation. It shakes your belief systems up. It completely can knock away your feet from underneath you. The thing of it is that don't just sit there on your pity pot until your hind end gets bruised from sitting there all the time or vacuum locked. Dust yourself out and put a positive spin. And I've said this before. My mom used to always say, look at everything that's happened in your life, and you will find a lesson and a blessing somewhere inside, no matter how awful this event may be, okay? How bad that tower moment may be. There is something you needed to learn from that occurrence, and a blessing was bestowed on you because something new is coming to replace that tower. Okay, you just need to do a little bit of work to figure out what it is you want to release and what it is you want to manifest for the long haul. So with that, my friends, I hope this helped you out. If it did, give this video a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. It's engagement and it counts the same way. Be sure to leave me a comment down below. Let me know, what are you going to release and what do you want to manifest in its place? Be sure to put, a special emphasis on healing humanity. Right now, we are so divided, and the noise on the far left and the noise on the far right are drowning out the masses in the middle, because, we have been silent for too long. It's time for us to speak up and make a difference and bring some sanity back to humanity. Hey, I think maybe I need to make a shirt with that on it or something. That was pretty brilliant, if I do say so myself. Anyhow, folks, I hope you enjoyed the video. And as I always say, merry we did meet, merry we will part until we merry meet again. Be well and walk in love and light, everybody. Bye.